know I said I probably... This is a call for vengeance. Welcome to today's show. I know I said I probably wasn't going to be uploading here for a while, and I'm still not going to be, but I will put this video up here on YouTube because everybody needs to see it. Everybody needs to see the words that come out of the mouths of these tyrants, and everybody needs to realize that this isn't about left or right, Republican or Democrat, that this is about a bunch of tyrants who are controlling the information flow. And I want to put this out there so that you can see the words that come out of their mouths. Of course, I have a lot of new content over on the website, and I understand that a lot of people can't join the website, so I want you to see this. So do me a favor, since I'm putting this out on YouTube. If you haven't yet, please make sure you subscribe to my other brand new channels below. You might say, why would I subscribe to your extra channels? I'm already on this channel. Well, the reason is you probably don't even realize that 4 of my other channels just got nuked. And I average 1 per month getting nuked if you do the math on it. That's actual science. Not the science they tell you about whether men can have babies or not, okay? So you might not hear other YouTubers like Mr. Beast and these big guys ever talk about having secondary channels and asking you to subscribe to them because they don't have to deal with what I have to deal with every single day on this platform. So please do me a favor, since I'm putting this video up on YouTube for everyone to see. Take the time and do me a favor and sub to those channels now, linked below. Now, this is from the World Economic Forum. Over the past week, I've put up many videos about disease X, etc. over on the website. I have to play this one for you from the CEO of the Wall Street Journal. You have to understand that a lot of the people that you don't know about, that you never hear about, you don't see, are a lot of the people who are responsible in this, pulling the strings in the shadow government. Now, they have people above them giving them orders, but they're the ones who control the information flow. So I'm talking about editors of New York Times. I'm talking about the editors of Fox. I'm talking about the editors of CNN. These are people that never get brought up, that are at all these meetings, the Bohemian Grove, the Bilderberg meetings, the World Economic Forum. They're all there, and they're dictating the information. This is how they keep people not only in a hive mind, but this is how they create the absolute chaos that's going on in the world, because it all starts in your mind as what you perceive as truth and actual news. Listen to this clip from the World Economic Forum, where this demon has the gall to talk about how they own the news, and they own the facts. So whatever they say are facts, and whatever anyone else says aren't facts. That's what they're telling you. And nobody out there is suspicious yet. Nobody's wondering every day why they're so angry at people they don't know just based on who they vote for. Because these people right here, listen to this witch talk about being a gatekeeper of information.
Back really not that long ago, as I say, we owned the news. We were the gatekeepers, and we very much owned the facts as well. If it said it in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, then that was a fact. Nowadays, people can go to all sorts of different sources for the news, and they're much more questioning about what we're saying. So it's no longer good enough for us just to say, this is what happened, or this is the news. We have to explain our working. So readers expect to understand how we source stories. They want to know how we go about getting stories. We have to sort of lift the bonnet, as it were, and in a way that newspapers aren't used to doing, and explain to people what we're doing. We need to be much more transparent about how we go about collecting the news. We owned the news. We were the gatekeepers, and we very much owned the facts.
So this thing comes on, or goes at the World Economic Forum. It doesn't go on national TV, but I mean, for those of us that actually have to sit through this, and do sit through this so that we can see what they're plotting and planning, and of course, one of the main things is building back trust and making sure there's no misinformation out there. Now, who is misinformation? Well, to them, I'm misinformation. To them, you, the people listening to this channel, are misinformation. Why? Because you're questioning a tyrannical news media. Now, if something was to ever occur, people ask me all the time, like, what can we do, right? We see what they want right now, which is a left-right divide. We see that. We understand why people who are MAGA and conservative are in an uproar, just like we understand how people who are Democrats are in a bit of an uproar, right? Because both sides are gaslighting one another. If everybody wanted this to stop, if everybody said, how do we stop this from happening, all of it, you take down the news media. That's where it starts. They are the enemy to humanity. They are the gatekeepers. What they do is they go out of their way to prevent actual, real information from coming out to the public. And they tell you what they want you to perceive as truth in your mind. So they tell you that it's a world filled with hate. And that doesn't mean you're not going to run into people who are racist, etc., because you will. Some people are racist, etc., because they buy into what gets fed to them in the media. They build this into people's minds. They build a false reality in their minds. Everything that's going on is a psychosis. It's all psychological. That's why I always use the meme, and I keep referencing it over on the website about the outbreak that just happened, how the Amish people didn't even know one happened. Would you have known that this big outbreak happened if you didn't have a device or technology? Maybe if you went to the store and you suddenly heard that people were in masks, or you know what I mean, you would have said, what's going on? I'm out of here. I don't know. This is all make-believe because it's a land of make-believe. They make it up. They're gatekeepers. And what they do is they bury and take away anybody that questions their tyrannical government or the tyrannical information flow that constantly gets fed to everyone out there. So they're the real enemies of the state. Of course, the people in power on both sides, the left and the right, are working together because the motto is divide and conquer. It's the oldest motto that there is. We all have heard it a million times. You've heard people say divide and conquer, divide and conquer. That's what's happening right now. And the motto of Freemasonry is order out of chaos. Is anyone noticing the chaos yet? Who's it coming from? It's coming from these people that are feeding you lie after lie after lie. This whole thing with woke, and this is why the alt-right media is allowed to exist for multiple reasons. Number one is to keep you in the left-right, right? They keep you in the left-right because they think that the answer is in all of these guys like Donald Trump, like the guy from Argentina now, all these guys who are speaking out against the World Economic Forum. They could lead us. They're doing this to prevent a fake revolution from actually happening. They want you to invest in these characters who are all bought and paid for. They're double agents. They want you to invest your emotions in them as if they're going to stop this from happening when they're a part of it. They're a part of it. Where the conservatives end up getting herded to is where they want them herded to. Otherwise, these people would have been whacked. They would never be on TV. They would never be allowed to be running for president. Trump would really be in jail. All this stuff that they're doing just garners support. It makes people go, oh, wow, he must really be right if this wicked government is going after him. It's building momentum. It's building deception. This is done by design, right? So the alt-right media pushes all these people, and at the same time, the alt-right media gaslights everybody. They bring attention to if men can have babies, and they bring attention on stuff, and they mock the other side. If they were pointing out that what's actually happening, what woke is a new term for communism. That's it. And then we talk about all the people who have fought in wars to prevent this from happening, and why. And then some of the stuff that got censored that I put up in the past was showing literally documentaries in the 50s, 60s, 70s about communist infiltration. And if you actually watch those documentaries, those black and white, boring documentaries, you start saying, holy crap, this stuff that's happening now was happening back then? Yeah. It's just packaged differently, which has a different ribbon on it. The ribbon is called what? The new ribbon is called woke. So people just think it's some new movement. It's communism. That's what it is. We hear people go, can you define woke? You're the alt-right media. Like, can you define woke? It's just crazy people. It's just lunacy. It's communism. And it's communism on both sides. It's conservative communism and it's liberal communism. Okay, for anyone that doesn't think the conservatives aren't bought and paid for, you're out of your mind. They do nothing, they get nothing accomplished, they're there to gaslight, both sides are. So, when we hear this thing come out of the World Economic Forum, we're talking about owning the news. People out there should go, how do you own the news? What's the definition of the news? Well, the definition is newly received or noteworthy information, especially about recent or important events. So are they the only people that are seeing things happening around the world? I mean, everybody's got a phone now, so people could actually film stuff if it was really occurring and then talk about it and give their opinion on it. But they want you to fall into the narratives, which is what you see going on in the Middle East. They want to play this and politicize this as a left-right divide in this country. It's the only time you ever see those people with the big beak noses actually let themselves be attacked in the public as if it serves a bigger cause, which is the left-right divide. Otherwise, you're never allowed to mention those specific people, and I won't go into more detail here because we know that's only a topic I can discuss on the website. So, not only do they talk about we own the news, for those of you that might be new to this, here's another clip when they were talking about how they also own the science.
You know, we partnered with Google, for example. If you Google climate change, you will, at the top of your search, you will get all kinds of UN resources. We started this partnership when we were shocked to see that when we Googled climate change, we were getting incredibly distorted information right at the top. So we're becoming much more proactive. We own the science, and we think that the world, should know it, and the platforms themselves also do. But again, it's a huge challenge that I think all sectors of society need to be very active in.
So it's amazing. They own the science. They own the news, which is pretty much them saying it's whatever they say it is, you have to believe and go along with. And if you don't, it's misinformation. In fact, they could change it as it goes. Because now the science that they own tells us that men aren't born as men anymore, and women aren't born as men anymore based on their sex chromosomes. Those things don't exist. Actual science doesn't exist anymore. They've removed it and made a new science. And if you question it and you believe in the actual science, you're misinformation and disinformation. They own the news. They own the Google search. And anybody that speaks against them and this mastermind manipulation that's going on with the left-right divide gets silenced. Period. This is why the alt-right's allowed to exist. For anyone out there that goes, well, Tucker Carlson, oh yeah, look at the bracelet Tucker's wearing. Oh, well, Ben Shapiro. Are you joking with me? They tickle your ears. They're not going to be able to lead people astray unless they give you some truth, unless they come out there and they entertain you and make you laugh and do these things. There's no real revolution without us going after the media, going after these tyrants like the same ones I'm posting this video on, who are censoring speech, who are dictating what can and cannot be said, because they own the information. Have you ever heard of such insanity? They own the information. All information comes from them. All science comes from them. Don't use your own eyes. Don't use your own ears. It's all misinformation unless they say it. And people out there actually believe this. And then they go, you hear conservatives, they see that, like, these people out of their mind. And then they go to Fox News for their information. And they don't wonder how Fox News is funded, how it exists, or how Tucker Carlson could have a YouTube channel, right? Or Russell Brand, or any of these guys, because they want them there, or they'd be stricken off the platforms. They wouldn't be allowed to speak. Okay? They don't want an uprising, and they have these people in place to gatekeep. That's what those people are. Because an actual uprising, an actual revolution would start with the destruction of the mainstream media, right? I always reference They Live, right? He blows up the satellite at the end, right? Or the satellite explodes. If all the media was just shut off, people's minds suddenly start getting free. And I'm talking about phones, all of it. So maybe when they do a grid shutdown, which is coming, maybe during that period, which I believe will be somewhere around 3 to 6 months, which will give enough time for people to, a lot of chaos will ensue without people having enough food stored up for 3 to 6 months, because most people barely have a week's worth or 2 weeks, certainly don't have more than a month. Okay, during that time period, real information needs to be shared. Boots need to be on the ground. People need to realize, while people's minds are free, that they can get to them and tell them. Because when the grid comes back on, they're going to have a fake narrative about why it went off. They're going to tell you it was Russian. They're going to tell you that it was something else that happened. It was a solar flare. It was from within. Our own government is attacking us, the citizens in America. And this is happening around the earth. All governments have turned on their citizens. These globalists are tyrants. They're tyrants against our freedoms. And these people put in place like Trump, like the Argentina guy, they're all clones of one another. They're all it's a formula they're using. All these guys who are stepping up, showing up. I put the video up on the website. The guy who's doing the punching sign with Trump, the same picture, the two guys. They're doing the same, it's the same character. They're all playing characters. And everyone's like, yeah. What do you think, he'd be at the World Economic Forum saying that on a live microphone if they didn't want him to? Are you kidding? Are you joking with me? What does it do? It builds up credibility. Because people can't think past that and say, oh, they didn't pull his mic? He's speaking against everyone there. Right? So what are they doing? Everybody's going, he's a new hero. Elon Musk is tweeting about it. Everyone's following, just like they did with Trump. This is by design. The conservative communists are doing the same thing as the liberal communists. They're playing to your emotions. They don't want an actual revolution to occur, so they want you to invest in these characters. They're all from a formula. They're all scripted. Okay, so this woman's telling you that they're gatekeepers. They own the news. They are gatekeepers. They're criminals is what they do. That's what they really should just say. We're not gatekeepers. We're criminals. We're committing crimes against humanity. We own the facts. Do you? Everything that comes out of their mouths has an agenda behind it. Everything. Every news story. You need to step back when you hear it. You need to evaluate what they're saying, because it's to pull an emotion out of you. It's to provoke you. It's to hurt you. That's all it's there for. Or it won't make the mainstream media news, ever. It has to have something behind it. And if a real event actually occurs, if some racial event actually happened and it really occurred without any involvement from the CIA or the government, they will put that on the mainstream because they can gaslight you with it. Because that's the whole purpose of the media, is to create a psychosis in your mind of a fake reality, staged wars, etc. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable they can get away with saying we own the news, we own the facts, we're the gatekeepers. Nobody should get any information from anyone else other than the New York Times, and et cetera, et cetera. And then they nuke everybody like us. Well, they can nuke all they want. I ain't going nowhere. Neither are the rest of you. Now, I don't know if I'll be uploading here on YouTube anytime in the near future, but I had to put this video out for people to see because it's important. And if you want to do me a favor and you want me back on YouTube, then show me that you want me back on YouTube and sub to my other channels. If those channels get built out, I'll consider coming back here full time, which means daily content. But I have to have those built out. Why? Because if the channel gets nuked, I need to be able to find you on another channel. Otherwise, we don't find each other anymore. And they cut off what we have. And that's really what's important to them. That we don't have a connection with each other. That we can't communicate with each other. Like-minded people, right? There's not many like-minded like us who actually know and are out of the left-right paradigm. Okay? That's the most important thing right now. Is that people out of the left-right paradigm stay in contact with each other. You don't get herded to conservative states or liberal states. That you're able to wake people up and pull people out of this hypnosis that they're under. All from the tyrannical mainstream media, folks. So please sub to those other channels now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I miss everybody. Hope to see you on the website. If you don't know the URL, well, you can look for it in the community tab where I post updates on what's going up over there. Lots of content going up there today and throughout the week. I thank you again. God bless all of you as always and your families.